What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the upper left. I'm Mike Shanahan. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Seattle Seahawks made history in this year's NFL draft. They are the first team whose first-round pick had already played for the team before the draft even happened. That's right. According to Pete Carroll and John Schneider, All-Pro safety Jamal Adams was the team's first-round pick. And after all, they did trade away 4 picks to land Adams. Do you know what it means to be polarizing? I'll put it this way. DK Metcalf found a way to make the track and field world mad, all the while the NFL had his back. DK put his speed to the test against the fastest in the country this Sunday. Life's all about bouncing back, right? When you're down, you got to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back out there. The Mariners were no hit 2 days ago by Orioles pitcher John Means. Tonight, Seattle looks to bounce back against the Texas Rangers. What's up, everybody, and welcome into the upper left. I'm Mike Shanahan. We are all investing in something. That could be a house for your family, your child's college education, maybe your own free time into your favorite Netflix show. Or maybe you're just up late pumping Ethereum into altcoins. Well, just like you, professional sports teams are investing all of the time. The Seattle Mariners will reportedly be calling up Jarred Kelenic, the number 3 prospect in Major League Baseball, and Seattle's most valuable asset. Kelenic was a part of the deal with the Mets in 2018 that sent Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz to New York, and he's one of the Mariners' long-term investments. He won't hit free agency until the 2027-28 offseason. Kelenic, he's off to a red-hot start for the AAA Tacoma Rainiers. Through his first 4 games, he is 8 of 18. That's a .444 batting average. He's got 4 straight multi-hit games, and he had 2 home runs in his AAA debut. Football fans might be the most impatient of them all. There are so many important dates over the offseason. You've got the draft, OTAs, minicamp, training camp, and then there's the schedule release, a big day in the offseason that is sometimes overlooked. As of this morning, all that the Seahawks know is who they will open the season against. The team begins this year on the road for the 3rd consecutive season. This time, they travel to Indianapolis to take on what feels like a brand new Colts team, led by Carson Wentz. The Seahawks haven't lost their season opener since 2018 against the Denver Broncos. For Seattle, the schedule release always seems to be about primetime games. After all, the team is 33-8-1 in those games since John Schneider and Pete Carroll took over in 2010. That's the best winning percentage in the league over that span. Be sure to join us here at 11. We'll take a look at all of the Seahawks' primetime games for this upcoming 2021 season. For the upper left, I'm Mike Shanahan. What's up, everybody, and welcome into the upper left. I'm Mike Shanahan. Every year when the NFL schedule is released, there seems to be one major theme on the minds of all Seattle Seahawks fans, and that's primetime games. That's no different this year. The Seahawks have landed 5 games in primetime. That includes 3 straight weeks in October when they'll play on Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night football. Later, they'll play primetime in November and host the 49ers in early December on NBC. The Mariners began the year red hot. They started 13-8, jumping on top of the AL West. Well, injuries and a lack of offense transformed that heat into ice. Last night's loss to the Rangers dropped them to 18-16 and looking for answers. Here we go to Globe Life Field. Top of the second, no score, Dylan Moore. He's going to get caught looking. He strikes out there. Top of the second, later in the same inning, Dane Dunning. He strikes out Evan White swinging. You're going to see a theme here develop. Dunning strikes out J.P. Crawford there in the top of the third. Washington State, they've signed their highest-rated recruit in program history. Mohamed Gay, the 7-footer from Senegal. He chose Wazoo over blue blood programs like Kentucky, Duke, UCLA. Gay, he's got the confidence the Cougars have been looking for. And then in the 4th round at 137 overall, the Seahawks took Oklahoma cornerback Trey Brown. Brown runs a 4.4. He had 31 passes defended as a Sooner. That's 6th in school history. Trey Brown always finds a way to make things happen in big moments. And then a fun fact, he is the first Oklahoma Sooner to be drafted by the Seahawks. Technically, the Boz, I know what you're thinking, Brian Bosworth in 1987, but that was in the supplemental draft, so it's a little bit different. And then last, but certainly not smallest, 6th round pick, number 208 overall, Stone Forsythe, offensive tackle out of Florida. This dude is huge, 6'8", 307, and if it doesn't work out, Forsythe said his parents told him he could always go to the WWE with the name Stone and be just like The Rock. Let's talk more about the actual draft picks for Seattle. We welcome on our NFL draft insider, Jackson McCarty. Jackson, thanks for being here with us, my friend. The Seattle Seahawks only had a grand total of 3 picks this year. From a 10,000-foot view, what is the national perspective of this 2021 draft class for the Seahawks? Jackson, that's got to make Seahawk fans happy. I will tell you that, because that's value. That's what the Seahawks are always going for, especially when you got 3 picks just as a whole in the NFL draft this year. Let's have some fun here. If you were in charge of the Seahawks organization on draft weekend, what would you have done differently? Jackson, hey, thank you so much for joining us today. Honestly, sometimes we get a little too local, so it's really nice to have a broader perspective. Thanks again for joining me, Jackson. And look, guys, if Mohamed Gay turns out to have an impact like Klay Thompson, I think there's a pretty bright future on the Palouse with Kyle Smith and that Wazoo basketball program. That's all I've got for you tonight. Thanks for joining me. For the Upper Left, I'm Mike Shanahan.